Hello and welcome back to the new section. Hope you enjoyed the previous one. In this section, we will talk about the objection handling skill. It is very important. You all know that. So the moment you start talking to a client, the moment you meet a client, when you have a site visit, when you are closing the deal, you're getting the advance payment or the booking amount, at every stage you come across a lot of objections. So handling those objections is very important as a real estate consultant. So you need to build that skill to handle any objection in any situation. It is again a part of communication skills. So learning the objection handling techniques, learning the objection handling skills is very important in communication skill. And this is what we learn in this section. So the first thing on the list is overcoming client concerns. Clients may raise objection or express hesitation during the transaction process. So effective objection handling allows you to address these concerns, provide reassurances, and guide clients towards making informed decision. So sometimes the client has the genuine concern. So the objection can be genuine. There are several genuine objections in real estate, such as the last time the developer did not deliver the project on time. What is different this time? What about the registries? What about the amenities? About the roads, security? So there can be several objections which are genuine related to the project. When the objection is genuine, you first have to appreciate that. Okay. The second on the list is building credibility. So by skillfully handling objections, you demonstrate your expertise, your knowledge, your professionalism in your field as a real estate consultant. This builds credibility with your clients, builds trust and confidence in your ability to represent their best interest effectively. Suppose you have an objection from the client which is not genuine, and you handle that objection professionally with soft tone, with your soft skills, then you are building reputation and trust with your client. So that is super important. Next on the list is resolving misunderstandings. Objections often come from misunderstanding or lack of information, and sometimes they're genuine objections too. So if you can excel in objection handling and clarify any misconceptions when you provide accurate information, you educate your client on relevant aspects of the transaction. It will lead to quicker decision-making page. So if your client is objecting to something, which means he's opening doors for closing the deal. If they're objecting to something, and if you can address those objections, the client is more satisfied. Client feels more understood, like we learned in soft skill. So handling the objection in a professional way helps you close more deals. If the client is asking you questions, raising concerns, objecting to few things, which means he's giving you the opportunity that explain this to me and I'm ready to buy. So objection is an opportunity to close the deal. So you need to learn this technique very quickly, because that will help you at every stage of the transaction, every stage of the sales process. So how can you build the objection handling skills? Let's have a look. The first thing is active listening. Listening actively to your clients' concerns, questions, objection, to fully understand their perspective. Do not jump to the conclusion. You know what the objection is, still you have to be an active listener. You use the verbal nods. Okay, I understand. So use the verbal nods. So listening actively to the client itself is a sign that I'm on your side. I understand your concern. So active listening is the first thing. The second thing is empathy. You put yourself in your client's shoes. So see, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Okay, I'm sure you know the difference. So you have to empathize with your client. So sympathy is you feel bad for the client. You you should not feel bad. If they have a concern, you cannot say, I'm so sorry for that. So feeling sympathy is not our objective, but we have to empathize with the client. We have to be in their shoes to understand their situation. Okay. So when you put yourself in client's shoes to empathize with their concerns and address them with a position of understanding and consideration. So when you are in their shoes, you try to think from their perspective, and then when you come up with a solution, it definitely hits client because you provided them the solution that they were looking for. Okay, so empathy is another thing that you need to understand. Then the next point in the list is preparation. So preparing yourself is very important. Once you are in the business, you come across the same kind of objections over and over again. So if you are focusing on a project, and when you are doing your project analysis, you anticipate what kind of objections you will come across when you're projecting, when you are presenting this project. So if you're already prepared with your responsive, they will definitely help you when you're talking to the client. You will not have to think about the response, the rebuttal. So you are already ready for the response, but that does not mean you cut your clients before they complete their objection. Like I said, listening is very important. Once you have listened, once you have empathized, and then you anticipate the response, and you have already anticipated the response, and now you are presenting your response in the most beautiful words. So next on the list is role playing. You can role play with your colleague, your friend, your team. So you become the client, the other person becomes the consultant. You raise the objection, the other person handles it, or he raises or she raises the concern, you handle. So once you have anticipated the objections, then you can do the role playing. Practice it with your friends or family or colleagues, and become expert in handling those objections. So role playing is another thing where if you practice, you will become expert. The next on the list is seek feedback. Seek feedback from your colleagues, your friends. Once you do role playing, then you need to seek positive or negative feedback and work on it. The honest feedback is what you're looking for. So once you are done with role playing, then exchange your feedback and then practice again. Then the more you practice, the more sentences you make, and the more sentences you make, you have more clarity on handling those objections. Okay, so these are the quick steps: active listening, empathy, preparation, role playing, and seeking feedback. Objection handling is different over the phone, and objection handling is different when you're meeting the person face to face. So that was about the communication skills. I explained you what all we need to learn in this section. But how do we need to learn? In the next section, I'll talk about few tips and tricks how you can learn and grow your communication skills. I'll see you there.